In life, not everyone we encounter has the same intentions. Some people are like the sun warming our soul. They give us strength, inspiration, and support. But there are others whose true motives are hidden behind a smile. They appear friendly, even helpful, yet their real goal is to control you, find your weaknesses, and keep the power in their hands. Toxic people never attack directly. They slowly, step by step, and almost imperceptibly draw you into their games. One day you realize that your thoughts, feelings, and decisions have become dependent on them. But remember, Stoic philosophy teaches us that our greatest power in life is to protect our inner freedom. If we fall under someone else's manipulation, that freedom is taken from us. That's why today, we will explore the hidden tactics toxic people use to control you. In this video, I will reveal 9 secret methods they employ. If you recognize these tactics in time, no one will be able to deceive you, drag you into their games, or take away your power. If you find this topic useful and want to protect yourself from such people, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. Even one share might help someone else escape a manipulative trap. If you're ready, let's begin. The first method is that toxic people always try to take advantage of your good intentions. They know you are conscientious, that you care about others' feelings, and that you don't want to harm anyone. And it's precisely this that they exploit to pull you into their games. Imagine you've simply made a decision or made a small mistake. Normally, this is something anyone could experience, but a toxic person magnifies it, as if placing a heavy burden on you. They might say, if you hadn't done this, I wouldn't be in this situation. Everything turned out this way because of you. These words shake you internally because our nature is to admit mistakes and try to fix them. But their goal isn't to speak the truth. Their goal is to make you feel constant guilt. As a result, you start feeling indebted. You feel like you must constantly fix things, constantly please them, because it seems as if you are the one at fault. And this is the easiest way for them to control you. A guilty person constantly lowers their head, cannot defend themselves, and always tries to satisfy the other party. Stoic philosophy teaches us that guilt arising from someone else's manipulation does not reflect your true value. In reality, you have fallen into their game. So in such situations, pause for a moment, listen to yourself, and ask, am I really at fault? Or is this just someone's manipulation? If you answer this question honestly, you'll see that most of the time, the fault isn't yours. The other person has simply shifted their responsibility onto your shoulders. The second method is that toxic people try to control you more easily by leaving you isolated. They know very well that when a person has family, friends, or a close circle nearby, they remain strong. Where there is support, it's harder to succumb to anyone's manipulation. But for a toxic person, this is a major obstacle. They want you to be alone, to feel empty, and to rely solely on their words. The tactic they use most often is, they don't understand you, only I do. I am the only right person for you. At first, these words may feel comforting, because everyone wants someone who understands and values them. But in reality, it's a dangerous trap. Their goal is to create distance between you and the people around you. Gradually, you start seeing your friends less, talking to your family less. Over time, your support system weakens, and you feel increasingly dependent on that person. This is the most powerful form of manipulation because you lose the ability to share, seek advice, or compare perspectives with others. Stoic philosophy teaches us, never tie your inner strength to a single person. Those who truly love you will stay in your life, and those who genuinely understand you will never try to isolate you from others. On the contrary, they will want you to be stronger and better supported. Remember, someone trying to cut you off from the world doesn't have your best interest at heart. They just want to increase their own power. The third method is that toxic people constantly portray themselves as victims. They know that people have compassion and a desire to help, and they exploit this to avoid taking responsibility. Imagine a person in front of you who always complains, "No one understands me. I've been treated unfairly all my life. I've always been unhappy." At first, this stirs pity, even a desire to help. You think, this person has suffered a lot already. I shouldn't be harsh with them. But there's a hidden game here. If someone always plays the victim, it means they never accept their own mistakes. Every time a problem arises, instead of taking responsibility, they find an excuse. I've already been a victim. That's why this happened. This is one of the easiest forms of manipulation. Even if you notice their mistakes, your compassion stops you and you begin justifying them. As a result, they never change, and you remain in a constant state of guilt and obligation. Stoic philosophy teaches us everyone is responsible for their own life. If a person constantly plays the victim, that is their choice, not your fault. Your compassion is valuable, but you shouldn't let it be used by someone trying to gain power over you. It's important to understand that a true victim wants to change and rise, whereas someone who always plays the victim is simply trying to deceive you and hide their responsibilities. Additionally, toxic people try to maintain control by creating emotional chaos. This is their fourth tactic. They understand that a person's weakest point is often their emotions. That's why they alternate between kindness and cruelty, putting you on an emotional roller coaster. Imagine, one day they are very kind and caring, as if they are your best friend or partner. But the next day, for no reason, they hurt you, speak harshly, or act indifferent. This sudden change creates confusion in your mind. You think, yesterday they were so good to me, so why is this happening now? Did I do something wrong? And these questions become your weak point. You start centering them instead of yourself. That's exactly their goal, to keep you unbalanced. When a person loses balance, they cannot think rationally and act out of fear and anxiety. This gives toxic people a significant advantage, because you are constantly trying to adjust. I shouldn't upset them. I should be better, so they return to their previous kind self. But remember, this is just a game. Stoic philosophy teaches us, don't let your emotions become a tool in someone else's hands. If you maintain your calm and analyze their behavior, their manipulation will not work on you. Your worth is not tied to their occasional kindness or cruelty. Your value is stable. It resides within you. The fifth tactic is that toxic people distort what you say and use it to their advantage. When you talk to them, you often encounter this situation. You say a simple sentence, but they present it completely differently. This is a subtle and hidden form of manipulation because it confuses you and makes you doubt your own thoughts. For example, you might simply express an opinion. I think a little differently on this topic. But they present it as, so you're saying my opinion has no value? Suddenly, a simple conversation turns into a debate, and you feel the need to defend yourself. Another example, you point out a problem with the sole intention of speaking the truth, but they twist your words and say, you are opposing me, which means what I did was wrong. In this case, your intention becomes irrelevant, and yet you start feeling guilty. Their goal is not just to play with words. Their goal is to make you doubt yourself, your mind, and even your emotions. Every time a situation like this arises, you think, did I really say something wrong? Did I mean to say that? Or did it really come out the way they say it did? Over time, this weakens your inner voice. You begin to look for the right answer, not within yourself, but in someone else's opinion. And at this moment, you fall into the trap of manipulation. Your intelligent and independent thinking becomes a toy in someone else's hands. Stoic philosophy teaches us that truth is simple, while distortion is complex. If you maintain your inner calm and don't get caught up in their word games, this tactic will not affect you. Don't hesitate to stand by what you said. If your intention was clear, someone else's distortion does not change your truth. Remember, a person who distorts your words is not seeking truth. Their goal is to gain power, make you dependent, and keep control. You, however, have the power to break their game simply by defending yourself. The sixth tactic. Toxic people try to undermine your achievements to increase their own power. They know very well that self-confidence grows gradually through small successes. And if they belittle those achievements, your confidence will weaken. Imagine you've made progress, learned a new skill, successfully completed a small project, or simply faced a fear. Normally, this is something to celebrate and give yourself credit for, because every great achievement starts with small steps. But when dealing with such people, your joy doesn't last long. They respond coldly. What's so special about that? Anyone could do it. You're proud of this? These words may seem simple, but they carry a lot of poison. After a while, you start minimizing your own accomplishments, telling yourself, maybe this really isn't a big deal. What I can do isn't really valuable. This mindset breaks your confidence. A person who doesn't believe in themselves can easily fall under someone else's control because they no longer see their own worth and instead seek external validation. But remember, Stoic philosophy teaches us that no one else determines the size or value of your success. The value of your achievement depends on how important it is to you. If a small step is a turning point for you, then it is truly valuable. Never forget, those who mock you are not targeting your weakness. On the contrary, they are uncomfortable seeing you grow stronger. They don't want to witness your progress because it diminishes their influence over you. So every time someone tries to belittle your achievement, repeat this sentence in your mind: this is my success. I worked for it and I alone determine its value. The seventh tactic is one of the most effective and subtle manipulations of toxic people: constant criticism and pressure. They know very well that when they touch a person's weak points, it shakes their inner world and reduces self-confidence. Small words, indifferent looks, and hidden belittlements create long-lasting cracks within us. Toxic people rarely attack you directly. Instead, they try to belittle you under the guise of being just honest. For example, you successfully complete a project at work, but they say, "That's not a big deal. Anyone could do that." Or in your personal life, you make a decision, but they mock it and put pressure on you. "Do you really have to do that? I wouldn't do it that way." At first glance, this behavior may seem minor, but over time it erodes your self-confidence. In other words, you start having difficulty recognizing your own achievements and begin doubting your abilities. Every time they point out your weaknesses, your sense of security diminishes. Even small mistakes start to feel like major disasters. The deeper impact of constant criticism and pressure is psychological. When a person remains in this situation for a long time, they feel they must always protect themselves, defend their rights, and act according to what others say. You begin to lose the value of your own voice, your decisions, and even your feelings. For toxic people, this is the ideal manipulation strategy. The longer you remain under their influence, the stronger they become. The purpose of this manipulation isn't just to find your weaknesses. The main goal is to make you feel dependent and weak, always seeking their approval. You begin measuring every step, not by your own judgment, but by their validation. When this continues over time, you find it increasingly difficult to value your own accomplishments. It's as if your inner worth is measured by someone else's words. Stoic philosophy teaches us that someone else's criticism does not determine your inner value. Your strength and freedom belong only to you. True freedom is remaining calm and balanced despite what others say, staying true to your values. Stoic thought reminds us that truth is simple, while pressure and insult are complex and externally imposed. So how can we deal with this situation? The first step is to recognize your achievements and your power. Notice your small successes and appreciate them. No one can change your true value. Every time you face criticism, ask yourself, does this reflect my growth? Or is it just a tool they are using to increase their influence? Remember, constant criticism and pressure are not about you. They are simply tactics used by others to gain power. By preserving your inner calm and remaining loyal to your values, thoughts, and strengths, you can nullify their manipulation. True power lies in not falling for someone else's word games, in protecting your inner freedom, and in recognizing your own achievements. Toxic people want to exploit your weaknesses, but if you continue to listen to your own voice and stand firm on your path, their manipulation will never affect you. Toxic people know very well that humans constantly seek trust and security. They exploit this need for their own benefit. They present themselves as if the only solution to all your problems, worries, and indecisions is through them. This is the 8th tactic. This tactic is subtle. First, they offer help, and then they deliver the message. You can't do anything without me, keeping you under their influence. It feels as though only they can guide you correctly, and only by being near them are you safe and secure. For example, you make an important decision in your life. They say, if I weren't here, you wouldn't have been able to handle this. If I didn't guide you, you'd have lost your way. Gradually, you begin to doubt your own decisions, your own power, and your abilities. Every time you are around them, you feel more comfort and security. But it's only an illusion. In reality, every step you take is under their control. The psychological effect of this tactic is powerful. When someone remains in such a relationship for a long time, they become afraid to make decisions and constantly seek others' approval. This gives toxic people complete control over you. You are no longer free in your life. Every step is measured by their perspective. Stoic philosophy is very helpful for recognizing this tactic. Stoics teach that true power and freedom come only from within. No one can control your thoughts, decisions, or life. Your freedom belongs solely to you. The illusion that someone else is the only way out is, in reality, a manipulation game. For genuine peace and freedom, it is essential that you believe in your own strength. Listen to your inner voice before making any decision. Be able to move forward without needing someone else's approval. Remember, their goal is to take away your power. But as you know yourself and protect your inner freedom, this illusion can have no effect on you. True power lies in not falling for others' illusions and standing firm on your own path. Finally, the 9th tactic, they constantly compare you to others. Toxic people know very well that self-worth and inner confidence are a person's most vulnerable points. They exploit this weakness by comparing you to others. This tactic isn't just criticism, it's psychological manipulation, designed to make you feel you are never good enough. They often say things like, they are better than you, why aren't you like them? Or, you'll never be like so-and-so. Such words make you question your own value, lose inner confidence, and live according to someone else's standards. Every time you face such comparisons, you struggle to appreciate your own abilities because your focus shifts to others' achievements. This tactic is highly effective for manipulators because the more you compare yourself to others, the more insecure and dependent you become. They gain greater control over you. You are no longer the leader of your own life. You are forced to live according to someone else's standards. In real life, this may look like you successfully complete a project at work, but a toxic colleague says, anyone could have done this project. Your success isn't that big. You feel inadequate and less capable. The same tactic can work in personal relationships. A close friend or partner constantly compares you to others, presenting themselves as the only right choice. Stoic philosophy is very useful for understanding this situation. Stoics teach that comparing yourself to others only disturbs your inner peace and adds no real value. True freedom and strength come from believing in your own path, values, and abilities. Remember, you should not measure your worth by others' successes. Everyone's path is different. Everyone's strengths and abilities differ. Toxic people exploit this difference to bring you down. But if you protect your inner strength and stay true to your values, their comparison games will have no effect on you. Real power lies in staying true to your path, not doubting your worth based on others' opinions, and preserving your inner freedom. Stoic philosophy says, the greatest freedom is not falling for the games of others. Thus, Stoic philosophy teaches us that a person's greatest power lies in their inner calm and mastery over themselves. The toxic people we encounter in life and their 9 hidden tactics are designed to confuse you and put you under their influence. But if you recognize these tactics and remain aware of them, no one can take away your inner freedom. Knowing yourself, protecting your inner values, and not allowing others' manipulations will give you true power in life. Every time you stay true to yourself and your path, others' manipulative behaviors cannot affect you. To toxic people, you are no longer a dependent object. You become an individual with inner strength and stability. Always remember, their goal is to weaken your self-confidence and keep you under control. But Stoic philosophy says, true freedom is not giving in to others' influence. The more calm and aware you are, the less their games can hold you back. Thank you for watching until the end. If this video has provided knowledge that can make a difference in your life, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. Your one share can help these Stoic teachings reach more people and positively impact their lives as well. Recognize your power, protect your inner peace, and never let anyone manipulate you. See you in the next video.